And in 2007, I noticed a trend amongst my patient base, and literally about a patient and a half to two patients a week were losing their jobs, either their spouse, their parents, or their kids. And I just felt that local government should be able to do more to keep us more insular than what happens at the state and the federal level. For instance, the foreclosure rate and the unemployment rates, I just felt were unacceptable to mirror state and federal numbers. And so I threw my hat in the ring and ended up winning the mayoral election in 2010. And when we took office, when I took office in 2010, there was a $3 million deficit. Flash forward to today, we're looking at not only a balanced budget, but a surplus. And the trick that we really had to kind of figure out a way how to get that balanced budget was our founding fathers of the town of Oro Valley were pretty adamant about not levying a property tax. And so it was a little bit more difficult to figure out, okay, how do you get the revenue source? And hopefully the questions later on, I'll be able to go in a little bit more depth to it. But we got the revenue source just through focusing on sales tax, through focusing on business success as well as development success. And my philosophy on government is threefold. One, provide basic services at an affordable cost. Two, partner with private or public entities, for-profit or not-for-profit, in order to better the lives of residents. And three, to truly help those individuals that truly need help, whether you're a business owner struggling, whether you're a senior, whether you're a child, whether you're unemployed, and that's what we've actually done.
Thank you. Pat, you've got 2 minutes.
There we go.
Starting now.
Okay, good evening. I'm Pat Straney, and I appreciate all you people being out here tonight. I'm sure you had things of a different nature you just as soon be doing, but this is the first step in getting to know everybody here, and that's a requirement so that we can move forward together. Very quickly, 2 minutes isn't much, and so there's more detail in my pamphlet or on my website. Please grab the information on your way out. It'll fill in the blanks. Little background, I'm an engineer by education. I worked in a large corporation, General Motors Delphi, for about 38 and a half years. Multi-disciplines, primarily in manufacturing, but I've had profit and loss responsibility for large chunks of the business, including European operations and other places in the world. I know all the disciplines that exist in the town, even though I don't know the details of the town. I'm sure I'll know it before I ever get sworn into office. Why am I running for mayor? I live here. I don't intend to leave. I've been here nine years. My wife Pat and I built our home here, and we just love it. And since that time, I have been the president of Rancho Vistoso Community Association on the inaugural board when homeowners took control of it back in 2008. I have learned a lot about community management and a lot about community governance in that sense through my association with Rancho Vistoso. And I'm very proud of what's going on in Rancho Vistoso and the sense of community, the look in Rancho Vistoso. You can tell driving through that it's a different kind of community. We're upgrading the medians. By the way, we pay for the lighting on the boulevard. There's 34 neighborhoods, 13 of them are gated, so it's a big operation, 5,000 acres. The business, the hospital, Innovation Parkway is all part of Rancho Vistoso Community Association. So that was an interesting learning experience for me as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bristow, you're next, and you also have 2 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Don Bristow. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and for coming. To give you a little of my background, I'm a native of Detroit area, grew up there. We went from Detroit to transfer to St. Louis, where we were for quite a while. Then 15 years ago, my wife Diane and I moved to Oro Valley. So we've been here 15 years now. I served with the U.S. Army in Vietnam during that time period also. In the way of background, I have a bachelor's degree from Michigan State University and a master's degree, MBA, from Wayne State University. I've also attended the Citizens Academy here in Oro Valley. I've been president of I've been on two homeowners associations, president of my Wild Ridge Homeowners Organization here in Oro Valley for a couple years. And my business background, which goes for 30 years, includes some diversity, but some of the key things that would be a benefit in this position is my management of new product developments and new market developments for a major corporation. And that combined with my experience in the homeowner association, plus for the last 3 years or so I've been attending most all the council meetings, some of the P&Z meetings, and have expressed my opinions at several of them on different issues. So I'm fairly familiar with how the government operates. And with that, I'll turn it over to Joe.
Can we get us 30 seconds?
No, sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Hornet.
Thank you, and thanks for coming, of course. If we can get past the fact that I'm originally from Chicago, I left there at 7 years old and lived in the suburbs since then, so let's just get that out of the way. I'm going to concentrate on what we got here about 8 years ago, my wife and I, and since that time I've attended prior to doing anything, and I've attended the 2 years watching the Board of Adjustment, Town Council, P&Z, the old DRB, and then I served 2 years on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then finally ran for Town Council. So I'm just going to give you an idea of what things I do on Town Council, the things I'm responsible for. I am the liaison to the Planning and Zoning, and I attend, of course, all the neighborhood meetings, which is a great thing that we started in the town here. I'm also the council liaison to the Water Utility Commission, and I attend their monthly meetings also, including some training at the University of Arizona relative to water in the state of Arizona. I, along with Mike Zinkin, who's sitting in the back there, are the council oversight for the Your Voice, Our Future, which is a new general plan coming to fruition hopefully someday. Outside the town, I participate in the Tucson, Mexico Trade Coalition along with Vice Mayor Water, which is an awareness group that's very loosely organized just to keep people aware of the importance of the commerce with Mexico, and that's what we deal with. I also am the representative from the town to the DMTVC, which is the Davis Mountain Tucson Commission, which raises awareness of Davis Mountain and some of the attacks it's under. On a personal basis, I'm an American Legion member. I also am a volunteer mediator at the Attorney General's office here in Tucson in the Civil Rights Division. I am on the HOA here in Rancho Vistoso as compliance and recently appointed to the ARC. And with that, that's who I am. And it takes a lot of time. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Oh, sorry.
This is again, thank you for coming this evening. It's great to see the neighbors coming out and taking an interest in our governmental process in Oro Valley. It's very important. We have a wonderful town, and I want to keep it that way. I am a 15-year native, or not a native, resident of Oro Valley. I moved here with my husband on a job transfer with the FBI 15 years ago, and he has since retired, and this is now our home. My active interest in the community began when my son was still in high school at Ironwood Ridge. I started Project Graduation, which is the all-night alcohol and drug-free party. That is now in its 11th year, and we have protected over 11,000 lives between 3 high schools. It started here, it's spread to 10 other high schools in Tucson, so I'm very proud of that. I have a passionate interest in youth, and to that end, I started and founded the first Oro Valley Youth Advisory Council to Marin Council, and it consists of high school students from CDO, Ironwood Ridge, Basis, and Push Ridge. I also am a member of the Amphitheater Education Foundation. I'm a board member of the Oro Valley Community Foundation. I'm also a board member of United Way of Southern Arizona. I was awarded the 2006 Citizen of the Year by the Oro Valley Police Department in recognition of my work with Project Graduation, something I'm very proud of. And the Chamber honored me with their first ever Legacy Award. So I've been very active in our community, and I ran for council in 2010, was elected in the primary with 62% of the vote, also very proud of that. I believe, and I promised when I ran for office, that I would put action to my vision and move the town forward, and I believe that's exactly what we've done. We inherited a $3 million deficit. We turned it to a surplus in 3 years. The town is the envy, frankly, economically, of the state. Thank you.
You don't have much time for Greg, do you?
Ask him, he'll say no.
I'm Lou Waters, and thank you very much for inviting me. I love auditions. I've always loved them. I'm from Minnesota, originally, as we say in Minnesota. I came to Tucson, Arizona via my many media appointments in 1970, where I became news director. Well, after a while, I became news director of Channel 4 and Channel 13, and covered the growth, no growth contest going on between the citizens of Tucson. Well, you see how that turned out. That affected me greatly when I came back after 21 years at CNN. I helped invent CNN, and I will profoundly apologize for that. I came back to Oro Valley. I am a journalist, basically. And in today's context, if a journalist were present at the Sermon of the Mount, the morning headline would read, "Cleric seeks takeover by the meek." But my main thrust, I'm not going to run down about surpluses and deficits, and all the liaisoning I do, but I would like to get across the notion that I'm most interested in community. Community is the big thrust of my work now, not only in arts and culture, the thread or the glue that holds a community together. And the latest Pew research, if you've read it, notices that since World War II, communities have been dwindling. People are drifting farther and farther apart from one another. And that really bothers me, because in our own small community, I've noticed it, and it takes some very hard and strenuous work to overcome that. There's a lot of fear involved. There's a lot of loners. There are a lot of people who are involved in the community in a volunteer fashion or not. And sometimes this separation leads to misunderstandings, and I have to stop now.